Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi everyone, I'm Don from 1AAuto.com. In this series of videos we're going to be focusing on vehicle diagnostics and maintenance tips. We hope that you find it helpful, and when you need parts for your car or truck, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks. In this video we're going to show you how to cut, bend, and apply a double flare to brake line. Why would you want to do this? Well, if you've got rusted out or leaking brake lines or clutch lines, then it's a good idea to replace them, and it's often cheaper to do it on your own than it is to buy pre-manufactured ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the tools that you're going to need and the materials that you'll need. So let's get started. Alright, so the tools that we'll need are a tubing bender. You could probably get away with not using a tubing bender if you don't have very tight turns, but it's always a good idea to do it. You don't want to crimp the inside or bend it too severely where you obstruct the flow of the brake fluid. So you'll need this, you'll need a tubing cutter, and you'll need the double flare kit. And the materials that you'll need are your ends, and you'll have to predetermine what they are, what size, and what thread type, and of course a roll of brake line. Alright, so here's the line that we're going to duplicate. It's got a couple different bends in it. Alright, so this line is in good shape, but we're going to go ahead and show you how to replace it if this is, say, for instance, the one that you needed. Okay, so I'm going to measure up 2 inches, so that I know is here. And measure over, and that is roughly 3 inches. And then we've got 5, and roughly 2. So we got, record those, and let's go ahead and make this line. All right, so all the figures add up to 1 foot, so you got 12 inches. I'm going to add just a little bit more because I can always trim that later. I'm going to go roughly about 14 inches. Just as long as I have enough. Good. So I'm going to put the pipe cutter on, and I'm going to tighten this down just a little bit. You can see from the side. Make sure that it's in between the 2 wheels. Tighten it. Rotate it around until it feels loose. Tighten it again until it feels like it's loosening up. And continue doing that. Until you cut your piece off. And now you can clean out your ends. Alright, so now I'm going to follow my pad here, mark my 2 inches, and the next one's going to be at 5 inches, next one's going to be at 3, and 2. So those are going to correspond with my bends. Alright, so here's my tubing bender, and there's 3 different diameters for grooves, and I'm going to just match it up with the one that corresponds with yours. Then there's my mark for 2 inches. I'm going to match that up at 0 and let it rest against here. Okay, and these marks on the bender correspond with the degree that you're going to bend it. So once you know that you've got it marked, hold it steady and give it a bend to 90. Okay, I've got my next bend lined up, which is coming up this way. There's my 5-inch mark at the zeros. I'm going to hold it steady, and you can see that I'm bending the opposite direction. To 90. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and bend the last 2. Got the tubing cutter set up, ready to go to cut off my excess. I'm going to clean up the end that I just cut. Now before we move on to the flaring process, you want to make sure that you put your ends on. Okay? So that you've got the threaded portion towards where we're going to flare. Alright, so now onto the flaring tool. This is how this works. We have 3/16 tubing, so everything that we're going to use is going to be the 3/16 size. So this is the flaring bar, flaring tool, and this is our adapter. Okay, your set will probably come with a bunch of different ones. You notice that this one's marked at 3/16, fits in there nicely, so that's the one that we're going to use. Now to begin, I'm going to have our end in here, of course. I'm going to go to the 3/16 size. Our adapter has this ridge on it. We're going to put it like this, and that's how much of the tubing is going to be revealed. Okay, once you have that set, tighten down on your flaring bar. Make sure it's good and tight. Now, you're going to insert your adapter this way, and then install the flaring tool. Like so. Take the bar and go ahead and crank down on it. Okay, once you've got it all the way down like this, you can unscrew everything, take it out, remove your adapter. You're going to want to leave this back in here. And now, so that's a single flare. Now we're going to double flare with just this going right into the hole. Insert your bar and crank back down on it. Okay. Remove it. Unscrew. And there you have your double flare. All right, now we'll go ahead and do the other end. All right, so we got our two bent fittings installed and double flares put on. And you can see, matches up with the original, and it's ready to be installed.
We hope this video helps you out. Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll free, 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.